Hi everybody, Steve here in my hometown of Palm Springs, California. And to celebrate my 4-year YouTube channel anniversary, I thought it might be fun to share with you some of the weirdest, meanest, and funniest comments that I've received over the past 4 years. One of the things you really want when you're a new YouTuber is comments. I mean, it's really fun to do a video and then to know that people are actually watching, and one of the only ways you know if people are watching is if they leave a comment. And I have to say, 99% of all the comments are wonderful. I mean, they're really thoughtful and interesting. Most people are really, really nice, but then you've got the 1% who are just completely awful. I mean, just so unbelievably awful. So that quote that says, "Be careful what you ask for," well, that definitely applies to YouTube comments. If you start your own YouTube channel, you may be sorry that you ever asked for more comments. I've known a lot of people that ended their channels, that stopped doing their YouTube channels because the comments were just so mean and hateful and awful. They just couldn't deal with all the negativity and the meanness. Okay, so rather than sitting here in my car rambling, I'm going to drive downtown. It's not very far, just a mile or two. And then I'm going to walk around downtown. There's a couple things I'd like to see. And I also need to drop off a package as soon as the UPS store opens. So let's head in that direction. So here's a comment that I receive all the time that always surprises me because it just makes absolutely no sense to me. It seems sort of like the opposite of reality. The comment is, and it's usually written in all caps, and the person says, "Let them rest in peace. Stop visiting their gravesite. Let them rest in peace. You are being so disrespectful by visiting their gravesite." And my first thought is, really? Doesn't everybody want to be remembered when they're gone? Wouldn't everybody want someone to visit their gravesite? I mean, to me, it just seems logical. Who doesn't want to be remembered? I mean, there might be a couple of people out there in the world that do not want to be remembered when they're gone, don't want anyone to visit their gravesites, but for the most part, I think most people really do want to be remembered when they're gone. Would love to have people visit their gravesites. It'd be very lonely to think that you died and you were in a cemetery somewhere and no one ever came to visit your gravesite because they all thought it would be disrespectful to remember you and visit your gravesite. So, I don't know, tell me what you think. I mean, am I wrong, or do most people want to be remembered once they're gone? Now, I'm just taking a wild guess, but I think maybe what the viewers leaving these comments really mean is that they feel that it's disrespectful to share my visits on my YouTube channel. But that's funny because I've received comments from thousands of viewers all over the world in the past 4 years thanking me for sharing these visits. Not everyone is able to travel, and for many of them, the only way for them to pay their respects is to do it virtually by watching a YouTube video. I've also received many thank you comments from the family members of some of the famous grave sites that I visited. I always go out of my way to be extra respectful of any gravesite that I visit. So I think the only ones being disrespectful are these viewers who leave very nasty comments speaking for people they don't even know. So another comment that I receive quite a bit, actually too often, it makes me sad, is when someone leaves a comment saying, "I'm unsubscribing to your channel and I will never watch it again because you visited," and then they'll usually put in a particular name, someone that I don't like. And so I'll never watch your channel again. So I think a lot of that is politically motivated. I think one thing I've noticed is that if I visit someone who happens to have been in their life a Republican, then Democrats unsubscribe or stop watching, and vice versa. If I visit someone who was a Democrat, then Republicans stop watching. And I mean, there's not much I could do about that because almost everybody was either a Democrat or a Republican. And I suppose I could have just a channel where I only visited the gravesites of Republicans or the gravesites of Democrats, but that's not what this channel is about. This is not a political channel. At least, it was never intended to be. It's become a political channel just because so many of you have made it a political channel, but I just visit people usually because they were movie stars or singers or entertainers or writers, people that I really liked. And for me, I've never really been very political. I think it's all very, very silly, and it's all just, politics are just there to divide us, and they've done a really good job of that, obviously. And so I'm not visiting for political reasons, but I think that is the motivation why, people do stop watching my channel. And it's funny because I probably 50% of my visits are to people who were once Republicans and 50% are to people who were Democrats. So what happens is, I think, someone will find my channel because of a particular video about someone that they liked, and then they subscribe, and then later they watch some of my other videos and they realize, oh, this guy's not a liberal, or this guy's not a Republican, so I hate him and I'm never going to watch his channel again. So, not much I can do about that one. But again, that one I think is weird and strange and also kind of funny. And sort of along the same lines of that comment is a comment that I get a lot, people saying, I'm your biggest fan, I love you so much, I love your channel so much, no one's loved your channel more than I have, and no one could love your channel more than I do, and I really think you have the best channel out there. And of course that's really gratifying, and as a YouTuber you love hearing that. I mean, anybody would love to hear that. But what I've discovered, usually the people who love you, really, really, really love you and really, really love your channel, they're usually the first ones to turn on you and decide that they also hate you. So again, quite often it's because you visit, someone that they don't like, and then they decide they don't love you anymore, that they actually hate you, and they'll never watch your channel again. So it's just, again, I would put that into the strange and also funny category. Now, here's one of the weirdest comments that I've received, and I received a lot of them, and I think that's why it's so weird to me. I mean, it took me a long time to figure out why I think I'm getting these comments. The comment goes, hey, where have you been? It's nice to see you back. You've been gone for so long. I was wondering when you were going to do another video. And I'm like, what? It's like I upload a video every week, and I have since I started my channel 4 years ago. And in fact, quite often I upload 2, maybe even 3 videos a week. So it just took me a long time to figure out. At first I thought, well, maybe they're just joking, because it just seems so weird, but I noticed it was different people saying it all the time, and I still thought, well, maybe they're just joking, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized they think that I've been gone, but it's not that I've been gone, it's that they were gone. These are people that are not subscribers, so they don't get, my videos aren't sent to them each week, and so they don't realize, if you're not a subscriber, YouTube is not going to send you a notification on my new videos unless it happens to be a topic that they already know you're interested in, that you've been searching for. And so, it might be months and months before I do another topic that you might be interested in. YouTube will then just send it to you because they know you're interested in the topic, not because they know that you have watched my channel or that you liked my channel before. Hey, now here's a fun bench, Batman and Splat. Meanwhile, this is a new one. I haven't seen this one before. Actually, I haven't been downtown in quite a long time. Let's see what this says. Okay, so this is the artist. We have a lot here, a lot of art here in downtown Palm Springs, which I think I've shared with you in the past. All right, let's see. Splat. Don't know if I'd want to sit on Splat. Oof. Okay, fun. We got the Palm Springs mural. I should probably go over there and show you the mural up close in case you haven't already seen it. So another weird comment that I received just the other day, and I haven't really received a lot of these, but I thought it was really strange. Someone said, all in caps, stop calling people by their last names. When I talk about people, I use their last names. They said, call them by their first names. I'm like, okay. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, my background is journalism, and I was taught, this was like 100 years ago, I was taught in journalism, the first time you mention someone in an article or a story, you mention their full name, and then after that, you always use their last name. And you don't use their first name, you're not personal with them. This is a news story. And now I guess because this is a little bit more personal, this format, but most of these people, or a lot of these people, I don't know personally. I don't know who, I never met Mary Tyler Moore, so if I visit her gravesite or one of her sites, I'm probably not going to call her Mary because I didn't know her personally. But I did think it was funny that someone was so upset about the fact that I called people by their last name. I mean, does that really matter in the big scheme of things? I mean, why would you be so angry to leave a comment about something like that, which is just so, like, really, who cares? So what do you think? Should I call people by their first names or their last names when I refer to somebody? You know, because a lot of times when you're talking about someone in a story, you know, when you're telling a story about someone's life, you're mentioning their name like over and over and over. And, you know, sometimes for variety I might do that, but I tend to stick with last names just because that's how I was taught in school. And that's what I remembered was sort of the proper way to do it back then anyway. Maybe it's not anymore. Okay, so another one I've been getting a lot lately is, and one just very specifically said, "I'm sorry, I just can't watch your channel anymore. I cannot watch a channel where someone wears a mask outside when no one else is around." Again, usually all caps, and obviously politically motivated comment. It's like, why would you care if I wear a mask or not? I said in one of my videos I was wearing a mask outside because in Palm Springs, face masks are required indoors and outdoors, as you can see the sign right there. So I usually, like this morning, I'm not wearing a mask because it's really early, there's very few people around, and if I see someone, I'm going to go across the street or get as far away from them as I can. So I'm not wearing a mask because it's hard to hear what I'm saying. Now, if I was in a big crowd, if I was in a restaurant, I mean, anywhere outdoors, I'm going to wear a mask if the people are around. But what I thought was so interesting is that I even explained in this video when I was wearing a mask outdoors and you really couldn't see many people around, I said I'm wearing it because it was like super hot, it was noon, and I get sunburned very easily. I forgot to put my sunblock on, so I was wearing a mask to cover, and it was a big mask, covered my nose, everything. And I said I'm using this to cover my face so I don't get a sunburn on my face. And I also have horrible allergies, as all of you know, and so I thought it might help with the allergies. This was a couple of months ago when my allergies were just going crazy. Today, not so bad, but I'm pretty much planning to wear a mask for the rest of my life now. I don't care about the reasons. I mean, to prevent sunburns, to cut down on allergens, and to maybe protect from any kind of anything that might be in the air. I mean, the flu even. It's like, why wouldn't I wear a mask, and why would anybody care? And it just makes no sense. The world has been completely turned upside down in the last couple of years. And again, that one is not only weird, but again, funny, I think. And I get it's very common. I get that one all the time. I mean, and some people are really, really, really angry. Obviously, they're not people that are ever going to watch my channel again, but it's still kind of funny. So here's another one I got just the other day. I'm going to read this one actually on my phone. It says, mentioning the COVID testing site at the end of your Burt Reynolds grave visit ruined the entire video for me. How could mentioning something I saw at the cemetery, that they did COVID testing there, how could that ruin a video? Oh, and then on the same video, I got another comment. I got quite a few hateful comments on that video, which surprised me, but I also am surprised that some of my videos do, for whatever reason, they generate a lot more, you know, mean, nasty comments than others, and sometimes it makes sense, other times it doesn't make sense, you know, depending on who I'm visiting. So this person says, "Stop being so petty and divisive." So if you remember that video, I was joking about my friend Jordan the Lion and how he beats me to just about every destination, and I was just laughing about it and saying how funny it is, and that I even went on and I said, you know, it used to kind of upset me in the beginning because I would have a list of places that I wanted to visit, and he would always beat me. I mean, I guess he had the same list, and somehow I made a joke about how, you know, we must have been, one of us had mental telepathy because we always seemed to go to the exact same places, and he always seemed to get there first. And I was laughing about it. I said how silly and weird and bizarre it was. And so this woman took that as that I was being divisive and mean and nasty and awful. And like, where did that come from? So that's the other thing I've learned is, like, no matter what you say or how you say it, people are going to receive it however they receive it. They're going to read into it whatever they want to read into it, and based on their own experience or what they're going through at the time when they watch your video. And so you just have to say what you say and do what you do, and know that almost everything you say and do is going to be misinterpreted, or half the time people don't watch. Most of the time people don't watch the entire video, so they miss half the point. And so you just have to do what you do, and you do it for yourself, and have to not worry about how other people take it. As long as you're not trying to intentionally hurt anybody or say anything awful about anybody, and I never do. Okay, so then there are the intentionally cruel comments that I get, and get a lot of them, from people who are just doing everything they can to make you feel bad about something. And in my case, the ones that I get a lot, I get quite a few from viewers, I guess, who really like other channels that might be similar to mine in some ways. So I'm not sure why they feel compelled to tell me how awful my channel is and how much better someone else's channel is. So I just received a comment the other day from one of Lamont at Large's fans, I guess, and he said, all in caps, very nasty, well, Lamont has 200,000 subscribers and you only have 55,000 subscribers. And it's like, how do you respond to that? It's like, that's awesome for Lamont. I'm glad so many people like his channel. It's like, I'm always happy when, as a YouTuber, when fellow YouTubers have popular channels that other people like. That's really great. And I'm glad, I'm really happy that 55,000 people like my channel. I mean, enough to subscribe. So I'm very happy. I would love to have 200,000 or a million or whatever. But when I first started my channel, I never thought I'd have more than a dozen subscribers. I don't even have a dozen family members and friends, and none of my family members and friends even watch my channel, or very few. If I relied on my family and friends for subscribers, I think I would have maybe 4 or 5. And I think I mentioned to you on my 3rd anniversary last year, a year ago, I think I mentioned how I had lost 4,000 subscribers. Well, for whatever reason, I think, my channel is one of those channels where maybe people like it for a while, but then they stop liking it or something, because I think I've probably lost now 10,000 subscribers since last year. So a lot of people will subscribe, but a lot of people do unsubscribe. I'm glad that more people subscribe than unsubscribe, but I still have a very high ratio of people who unsubscribe to my channel. I don't know if that's typical of other YouTube channels. I've really never talked to any other of my YouTube friends about it, if they have the same really high ratio of people who unsubscribe. But I think obviously people like Lamont, he has followers that really like his channel a lot more than people like my channel, and I doubt if he has the same number of people unsubscribing. So that's fine. I can only be me. And if people like my channel, awesome. If they don't, well, what can I do? All I can do is what I do. And so to try to make me feel bad because more people don't like my channel, it's just a cruel person who would say something like that. And sadly, I get quite a few people who do that. I also get quite a few of those comments referring to Arthur Dark's channel. And I've been getting those since I started mine. I always took it as a compliment. I never even thought my channel had any resemblance to his, or that anyone who watched his would even watch mine. They're very different types of channels. I just do personal vlogs, and he does very beautiful movie documentaries. He has a team of people working with him, so I'm not sure why people would compare me to him, but yeah, I get that a lot, and they're usually very angry. I guess they feel like I'm trying to compare myself to him or something. So here's one that I thought was especially interesting and kind of typical of the people who watch Arthur Dark that leave nasty comments. This one says, I'm reading it off my phone here. It says, "Let's face it, Buster, you are no Arthur Dark." So, I have to just laugh. Who hosts Hollywood Graveyard. And then he goes on to say really, really nasty and libelous things about one of the actors in my video. This was a graveyard tour video about Mouseketeers, of all things, who have passed away, and I visited some other gravesites. So this guy left this super nasty, awful, mean comment on a Mouseketeer video. The irony is also kind of funny too. And so he was just telling me how much he hates me and how much he loves Arthur Dark. So, yeah, it's just, those are some of the comments I get. Now, again, in the beginning, they were mean and they would kind of make me feel bad, but now they just make me laugh. So thank you, all of you, for your nasty comments. Feel free to keep leaving them. I can always use a good laugh. And so, yeah, I don't discourage them. And, you know, if they're just mean and they're about me and they're just silly like that, then I just leave them on the channel. If they're, you know, attacking somebody else or a group of people or just really vicious about, you know, just like really, really, really bad, then I delete them. Okay, so here's another funny one. I'm going to have to read it because it's kind of long. It says, most humans, and I actually had to delete almost all of it, or I'm going to have to leave out almost all of it because it's just so horrendously awful. But most humans are cowards and pathetic. Gee, I wonder how he knows that. It says, you are a coward, and then the C word after that I can't say, or this video will be deleted. And then it says, you stupid sheeple. That's kind of creative. Need to leave my planet now. Take the mask off, you, and I'll just leave the rest up to your imagination what he said, what he said next. Okay, so Palm Springs is back in business since about a year ago when I did my video about how it was pretty much empty. And quite a few people are wearing masks, but not everyone. I'm keeping my distance here. I'm gonna get out of this crowded area though, since I don't have my mask on. I just wanted to show you some of the artwork here and share a few more comments with you. Okay, this one will balance out a little bit of the hateful comments here, maybe. This is kind of nice, huh? You can only listen to so many hateful comments in a row. Let's see what this is. I haven't seen this before. I haven't been here since this has been installed. I guess it's just a place for selfies. Okay, so let me get my video selfie here. Boy, it really is pretty crowded. It's still pretty early. I guess it's probably maybe 7:30 or 8 by now. Very bright. P.S. I love you. Now, have you noticed a theme when it comes to the majority of these comments? Almost none of them have anything to do with my videos. They're almost all just personal attacks. I've been called old and ugly and bald and wrinkled, and more comments than I can even count have pointed out that my nose is red, my eyes are red, my chin is red, and I have a turkey neck. And what makes this even sadder is that I don't think everyone leaving comments is a troll or is even trying to be mean. I think some viewers who leave these comments are just rude and inconsiderate and callous and unthinking and just don't have any manners. Okay, another mean one that I received, and it was kind of weird because the comment was left on my Amos and Andy video, and I was sort of like, well, gosh, that seems weird. How did that comment have anything to do with Amos and Andy? It says, turn in your man card, all in caps. Oh, and here's another one from a Lamont fan. He says, stop being such a child and man up. I'm going back to Lamont at large. I guess my channel just wasn't manly enough for this viewer. Now, the sculpture behind me is sort of like a mirage. You can actually see through it depending on, you know, where you're standing. It's kind of neat. So, here's a fun one that's also mean. It says, you effing ghoul, go get a hobby. Well, quite a few people do suggest that I get a hobby, but as I've said many times, this is my hobby. I visit historic sites on my channel. That's my hobby now that I'm retired. So I guess it's just not the kind of hobby they want me to have. One of the comments that made me laugh the most the other day was kind of ironic. The guy said, your voice is annoying me. And I just had to laugh because it is so ironic. I receive like dozens of comments every single day from people saying how much they love my voice. And which I've never understood because I've never liked my voice either. So whoever left that comment, I agree with you. My voice annoys me too. But for whatever reason, you know, 99 people out of 100 seem to like my voice, and that's very nice. It's always nice to hear, you know, nice things about you, since mostly you hear unkind things about yourself on these channels. And but that one just made me laugh, since the guy just had to let me know that, you know, your voice is annoying me. Sorry about that. So this comment's a little bit long, so I'm gonna have to actually read it from my phone. It says, F man, you are creepy. You really freak me out, man. And I know some real nut jobs. Yeah, I bet you do. If I found myself stuck in an elevator with you, I'd cut my own effing throat before you did. And now, the funniest thing about this comment is that it was left on my It's a Wonderful Life Christmas video. Laughter's the best medicine, right? And I just want to thank all of you for making me laugh so much, even if it was unintentional. This past 4 years, you've probably added quite a few years to my life, which means I can now make even more videos to annoy you. So I guess I'm going to get the last laugh when it comes to my YouTube channel. I'm curious how many of you have been watching my channel since the beginning for 4 years, but it's gone through a lot of changes over the last 4 years. So it'd be fun to know how long you've been watching. So if you don't mind, in the comments section, let me know. You could just put 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I'd love to know how long you've been watching. Or if you've only been watching for a few days or a few weeks, that's fine too. This week I'd like to thank my newest Patreon supporters, Leslie, Stephanie Hamilton, and Diana Stapleton. Thank you so much, Leslie, Stephanie, and Diana, for your generous donations to my channel. It means a lot and I appreciate it. And last but not least today, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have watched, whether you've watched for just 4 days or 4 years. I really valued all of your comments. And like I say, you know, the majority, 99% of them have been really wonderful and funny and kind and helpful. And that means a lot. It really makes it easier to take the not so kind comments. So thank you all so much for watching my channel, for subscribing, and for joining me on my trips down memory lane. So until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.